Hi, welcome to my channel. I'm Laura Crapo, and because this room doesn't have any furniture anymore, it's like way more echoey. I hope that doesn't bother you. I'm gonna do a collective reading today and keep my glasses on in case you guys have a question. I can do short answers for them. And what else? Yeah, and I'm moving in the next, well, I've been moving, but anyway, tomorrow and the next day are my last day of moving. And so if you guys feel like donating something, that'd be awesome and excellent timing. All right, so I'm just gonna focus. Don't mind my dog barking in the background. I just was, I was like playing like ball with catch with him and stuff, and he's just like, he's fine. He's just a little chihuahua who makes a lot of noise. Okay, so collective. Actually, I'm only gonna put my glasses on if people are writing stuff because like, I don't know about. Sometimes glasses feel like third eye blockers with it. Okay. I'm getting this energy about like relationships and like how to sort of define and go about having a serious relationship that is like outside of the, the marriage, like the legal marriage thing. Because I feel like I know personally that when you marry and divorce legally, like in the eyes of the law, it's like a financial thing, because like the courthouse is like a bank, kind of like they really almost, things are really just about money. It seems like. So for people who don't want to go that route, it's like, how do you make it clear that you want to be together and you're on purpose together and building your empire and stuff? So I'm just gonna look at that. It's interesting. It's like, it doesn't feel like it's within the church either, but it feels very calm and organized. So I'm just trying to see like, who is there? Like, is it just between the two of you? Is it like, it feels bureaucratic still, but I'm just gonna see. I don't know. You know how like in the olden days, there might have been like an announcement, like almost a paper announcement, like in the town center. It kind of almost feels like that. If there were some similar form to that, like, I don't know if there'd be like an online version of that and a physical printed version for the public to see. Okay. I'm just trying to picture like how a couple would go about doing all this. Like it doesn't feel like Facebook, like, oh, we're in a relationship. It feels like on an official posting that isn't social media, that is also not like somehow influenced by like the legal system. Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know if like there'll be some sort of strength of the community leadership that's different from political life, different than like judges and all that stuff. I mean, so it seems outside of religion, outside of like civic bureaucracy, like legal bureaucracy. So I'm just gonna like say hi to the dog for a second. I'll give him something. Just a second. And I'm back. Okay. Alright. So that's kind of cool. Like I'm all for like community mindedness. Okay. Alright, so there's that. Like people like posting but not on social media. They're an official couple. Okay, what else? What else? Collective energy. I'm getting this like sort of like struggle vibes around like groceries, like stuff like that. So I'm just gonna look for solutions around that. Yeah, so on the same sort of tip as like community building, let's say there was, and I think I said this in a previous reading, like there's almost like your block or like your close community organizing some kind of food prep or like a communal food kind of thing like that, where you're not just all just like struggling and feeling separated in your own home. Like everyone knows who each other's neighbors are, like even just in a really basic sense, and you guys like choose to take part with people you get along with for the purposes of like making a meal together. Like let's say you're gonna make like chili for everyone and you all bring like a different ingredient and then everyone can like share that meal kind of thing. Because part of what makes like difficult times even harder is feeling isolated, and like the internet's fine and everything, but like if there's a power outage or just you don't want to drive anywhere, like that kind of stuff. Okay. Because everyone has like their own good like skill and whatever it might be, and so it's sort of figuring out like, okay, who who are my neighbors, what skill sets do we all have, and how can we, in a sort of a bartering way, like how can we all contribute to our little community surviving like a hiccup in like let's say there was like a 2 week hiccup and you didn't want to be like hoarding and fighting over stuff, like you have kind of a more community support thing going on. Okay, what else? Okay. Collective energy. Yeah, I'm getting that like you know how people are critical or like vocally critical, or just like there's more of a thing today, and an acceptance of people just going off and like expressing random strong opinions about stuff that might be like considered impolite, like in in the past. Oh my gosh! Wait. Okay, so you're recording somehow. All right, so yeah, because I feel like this being like overly vocal about like, oh my god, what do you like? Why are you doing that? Like that kind of like sparking conflict type of overly oversharing and being overly critical could be like well counterproductive and kind of dangerous. Like if like when everyone's stressed out, you don't want to be like the one match that like lights the all the dry leaves on the ground kind of thing. So like everyone's stressed out, you don't want to be like that person to ignite like to trigger people's insecurities and high emotion and stuff. So just gonna see. Yeah, so I don't know if it's like educating yourself on like diplomacy, like how to speak to people when times are difficult. Like there's like a video on everything on YouTube. So I would like if you're somebody who can be combative in communication, just like look up like how can I still get my point across even better without being combative? Like give me some ideas of like what to say in this case, or like ChatGPT is good for that stuff too. Like, you know, tell me how to say this to my neighbor politely and ta-da, you know, like it's suddenly really easy. And then you're like also developing yourself and learning how to be like a good citizen through that process. And it might help your personal relationships too. All right. All right. So there's that. So I got relationships, food, and communication. All right. Collective energies. I think like don't stress too hard if for some reason like if there's like a school like you know how sometimes schools go on strike or like during COVID like there was the shutdowns and whatever. Like people are naturally curious and gonna want to learn throughout their lives, so it doesn't have to be like a daily 9 to 5 grind. Like so there's you know like people can become a doctor like at 43 or you know it's not like uh, just ease off if you're someone that panics about that kind of stuff and that sort of momentum. Just like safety and mental health are also huge factors in that, and if it's like too sketchy or disrupt like I don't know if with the upcoming political leadership as it were small L leaders like in the states like you know there could be some you know disruption of one type or another. So I just kind of feel like just be chill and like think about the basics. It's like you know a simple healthy meal, everyone's fine, like we're good, like successful day kind of thing. Because even like as time moves on, like the world is constantly evolving. Um, so like what we think are like normal patterns of life like are going to evolve and change and oh my God, maybe if he's on my lap. He's really good. I think my dog's stressed out too because when I'm moving and stuff. I'm like away more in the day, and he's kind of like, where's everything? He notices stuff like that. Like, why did the curtain move or whatever? He's very observant. Maybe he's quieter for the moment. All right. So yeah, like in terms of like if there's a pause in school schedule and stuff like that. So even though it won't be like necessarily COVID again, like it feels like there could be some sort of at least 2.5 weeks of kind of disruption. And it feels like your main job is to stay calm and just be like, focusing on your chili and cornbread meal, like homemade. Like that's fairly doable with like canned stuff that you just sort of have like just have like let's say a 2-week stock of just stuff just in case, like either like where I live it's winter, it's smart to do just anyway, like because we can get snowstorms and icy roads and stuff and whatever, so it's like that kind of thing. Just some amount of preparation is always a good idea, but not like, I'm not talking like crazy bunker preparation. I'm not saying it's crazy, but it's like more preparation than average. Right. Okay, collective reading. I'm picking up like a lot of that sort of political stuff, like how I don't know why I always get like, I'm in Canada, but I'm getting like a lot of U.S. information. But anyway, like how they reversed like Roe versus Wade and stuff. I'm getting like these like pregnancy kind of issues. Okay, let's look at that. Yeah, and this on the same note of like get to know the people close to your home so that like what everybody's skill set is and stuff, and like if there's a doctor that isn't like owned by a health insurance provider, like that's near you, like get to know their services, and if it might be like house call or like home birth services, or are there midwives around, like if you're pregnant or if you may become so soon, like it's good to know like what's available in your community that isn't like that is besides the regular hospital route and stuff like that. Like I know for myself, like I had 3 kids, I had midwives. First one I had midwife, but then they weren't that great, and I ended up at the hospital, and this doctor, like, and this was a nurse mostly who was very like smart, and then she got the doctor in, and then everything was fine. But it was 36 hours unmedicated active labor, so it was like, anyway, so first time you never know really, but second time was like easy breezy. But I did at the hospital because I was afraid of going the midwife route, and then the third time I was like, okay, home birth, no tests, like going for the gold, and it was like super chill, and maybe because I already knew how it was going to happen, and also each time you have one it's like easier and quicker. I'm just saying, like, it is possible sometimes to have a successful home birth, and so like see if there's a doctor that is like a regular old-fashioned neighborhood doctor that isn't in contract to only work for like an health insurance provider. Like get to know what services they offer, and maybe it's just a $60 visit instead of a whatever, however much it costs in the States. I also think like if you make it possible in your neighborhood, maybe it might be a matter of changing like a zoning law to have like a fruit stand, fairly regular fruit stands, like every, I don't know, 4 blocks or something like that's available for the community, so you don't always have to be driving somewhere. So that's something that as a group of you in the community, if you all sign a petition and say like we would like this, or we would like a twice a week farmers market in the park, or whatever, whatever piece of like whatever area is available, even if it's just like one stall, like that's helpful. And it also is a opportunity for neighbors to like talk to each other and have some common point, because it's probably just like the dog walkers that know each other, because you're always out. So, what are you doing? Come here. See? All right. So what else? Collective. What else is good? Yeah. So also, I'm getting like in the community meeting, no one should be just like, we need that, like yelling. Like yelling is just harder to absorb the information. So you all have the same goal. It's like we want to have a good life. So no one's like working against you. You might all have like different political leans or like level of education or whatever, but you all have a common goal of like we all want to survive and have as good a time, peaceful time as possible. So just know that you have that in common. You're all human beings, and so it's like really try to work together, like what would make our lives easier, and not getting into politics and stuff like that, like basic needs. And like for instance, having like a twice a week farm stand within your like 4 block radius would be good, right? So, and sometimes the way they have the laws, it's like, let's say you live in a suburb, it's like there's no stores, it's kind of weird and inconvenient. So it's like trying to reintroduce some sort of village aspect to your neighborhood without stepping on too many toes, and make it more kind of like, pitch it more like a Martha Stewart kind of, wouldn't this be nice, and kind of upgrade our neighborhood rather than rather than framing it as a desperate need and like mad that it doesn't exist yet, just like kind of tart it up for people as a concept. Okay, what else? Collective. I also feel like, let's say you have some kind of community center. Let's say there's someone who's like really good with tech stuff. I feel like people need some kind of like weekly lecture or like how-to session on tech stuff. And maybe it's just another means of getting everybody together in the community, but it's also like I think people really need to know like what is out there in terms of and maybe if some people don't have internet access, have in your community center or library, if it's not already there, like more access to computers, and if people want to donate them, like your old laptops and whatever, like make it so that it's not just going to waste, and it's not going super far away, it's like going back into your community, so that over time it's like everybody's needs are met and nobody feels cut off or disadvantaged in terms of access to that. Okay, collective. I feel like fresh air is also like a big issue. I'm just like looking at um I guess like if there's a way for people to, like how they say like grounding yourself in nature, like tree hugging isn't just being like nice to trees. It's like it's like a grounding cord into the earth. And so when you hold it, it like gets rid of like random energies out of you and it feels better. Or like some people walk barefoot or like they don't wear like rubber shoes, like leather shoes are more grounding than like leather sole is more grounding than like wearing rubber. Anyway, the way our bodies work, there's electricity going on and our bodies naturally are used to touching the earth, and so like do what you can to do that. I have like a grounding sheet. It's like a sheet with like a grid of like thin, I guess it's like silver thread, and then you plug it into like the grounding, like the on the outlet. It's just like the circle one instead of the, and you sleep like so much better. It's crazy, and so there's that. If you live like in a high rise or something, where your city is so dense, you don't have a place to walk barefoot and look like suspicious. Um, Yeah, and try to the fresh air thing, like try to take the time to like go someplace where there is more fresh air if possible. Even like once a day or once a week or whatever. Like when I go to New York City, I always forget like it's on the Atlantic. So like that would be a really easy place just to go to the edge of the island and get some fresh air. Okay, collective energy, just one more thing. I'm also getting like politically speaking, like let's say you're living, well, it's even in Canada, like we're about to have like a change in leadership, or like everyone's trying to get like a present guy like out, I guess. But like in the States, um, you have more power in your community in a grassroots way, then it makes more sense to do that and make like your street, your town work better with your effort and your knowledge and your talents and stuff. And hopefully like everybody else does the same to make it a great community. That is like 10 times more effective than, I feel like, demonstrating or like getting up in everybody's face and like starting at anger, you're wrong, like I'm right, kind of thing. Like just think of one little thing in your community that could be better, that you could try to make better in some way. Like for me, I couldn't like rest knowing like winter's coming and there's all these like vulnerable people out. And so I wrote like some really good letters to the mayor in French and English. and uh, and at first they wrote back like, oh, everything's fine. Like we have all these wonderful services, but like obviously it's not enough for everybody. And anyway, but then I did read that like they did open up one warming space near City Hall, but it's like that's not the busiest place in Montreal. But at least they opened one. But like I was asking for like one at each metro station because that's where people go when they're in need. Anyway, so just do something. Oh my gosh, guy, what are you doing? Sit. What did he do? Just do solve one little problem close to home. So I'm just trying to give him like a hand signal to be quiet. And okay, and that will feel better than getting mad at like the system or whatever. Because like the political system as it is right now is fairly entrenched and like going through its own like weird telenovela chapter. And like you can't reason with crazy, but you can like solve a problem close to home, and then like maybe some newspaper will pick up on it and like inspire other people to do similar stuff. And then like, oh, like your energy is strong, and it has a ripple effect around the world. So don't think it doesn't matter and that it's not like incredibly effective. So just value yourself and your efforts and know that it has an impact, and do something that seems achievable to you within the neighborhood. And maybe some of the suggestions during this reading are helpful. Anyway, I'm going to end it there. I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. And it's sometimes I get requests for distance healing and psychic readings. It's always nice to meet my viewers, and I appreciate you guys. And if you want to donate too, that's always helpful. And especially if you want to subscribe or ask your friends to subscribe, that would help, because the more the channel grows, the more opportunities I have to like do cool stuff. So I'd love to make it to 1,000. It'd be incredible. But I'm just gonna read something here. Oh, that's really sweet. Thank you, and blessings to you too. So I'm just gonna close off now, and if you missed the reading, you can go back and watch it. And take care. I'll see you next time. Bye.